It is October 26, 2024, and it is time to kick off the KX250 build. Now, you guys left a ton of good comments on the last video deciding what we're gonna be doing for this build, because just to remind you guys, what I'm doing for this build is letting you guys build it. And the general consensus was to do a factory or a retro build, but the comment with the most likes was a retro build. So that's what we're gonna be doing. I'm not sure if it's gonna be 80s or 90s yet, but just to remind you guys how we're doing this is I will let you guys know in the previous episode what we're doing next. So this current episode, at the end, I'll let you guys know the next step. So for example, just to reiterate, if I'm trying to choose the frame color, what I'll do is I'll tell you in that episode, that next video will be powder coating the frame, and you guys will leave comments on that video, and the comment with the most likes is the color we'll be choosing for the frame. So that's how I'm letting you guys build this bike. I think it's going to be super, super fun. But once again, general consensus was factory or retro build, and it looks like retro build it is. I do want to sprinkle in some modern in there. There was one really cool comment about getting a 1744 pipe, and I think I might just do that if the budget allows. We'll see. But I think, guys, it's time to start and kick off this KX250 build. So yeah, if you guys want to have a part in building this bike, just make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you think would be cool. And if your comment gets the most likes, that's what we're going to be going with. And also, guys, just a tip for you, if you are building the bike, it's your first time, one way to stay organized is to label your bags and put your bolts in those bags, because you just don't know how long your bike's gonna be torn down for. And even if you've got great bolt memory, it just keeps everything nice and organized. So one little tip I have for building the bike. I'm actually gonna start, I think this time, by yanking the old engine out, kind of get that thing out of the way first and foremost. That's gonna round. Yep, that rounded. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys something real quick. If you ever got an Allen bolt like this one, for example, is rounding, it's way too tight and it's stripping out. There's multiple ways to get it out, but one of the easiest, fastest ways I know of are either Nipex twin grips or vice grips. Now, my twin grips won't really fit right here, so all you gotta do is just grab the bolt head with vice grips. If it's something like this one that's sticking out on the carb, give it a pretty good clamp, and then apply some torque. Boom, that's loose. These kind of Allen head screws can round all the time, so if you got something like that in your way, usually it's no big deal. Just grab some vice grips, some twin grips, Allen head extractors, whatever you got. Not the end of the world if you got a bolt that's rounding like that. Pretty easy to take care of. I also received a comment on one of my last videos on letting you guys know what tools I'm using as I'm doing these builds. So if you're interested in that, stick around to the end of the video, and I will be kind of just going over quickly on what tools I used while tearing this bike down, for example, in this episode. And if you guys are looking to do the same exact thing and you're a little worried on tools, you could check out the end of the video, and I'll kind of go through what I used. Kind of help out the people looking to do this themselves. Hey, this is an O-ring chain. This is the fun part. Comment a guy left was me to scrap the KX250 motor and do an electric build. I just want to let you know, whoever left that comment, I apologize, I can't quite remember the name right off the bat right now. I'll put it here, but whoever did that, you inspired me to do a future build. I'm just gonna let you know that, because that was a fantastic idea. Easiest engine to pull, 3 volts. Oh, what do you guys think? Think that linkage is gonna be stuck? Probably. You don't need a hammer when you have your hand. I've never wanted a rollie, but I've got one here. That's embarrassing. Get out of there. Why are you stuck, brake caliper? Why are you stuck, step caliper? Release. Anyway, I never wanted a rollie, but I got one here. I get it, because the tire's rolling off. Yep. All right, I'm done. That's insane. I'm pulling out the I wasn't asking impact. Yeah, I told you I wasn't asking, you little. This is what I call Bertha. She does the heavy lifting around here. Heavy lifting as in linkage bolts that are seized. Check this out. My little 3/8 gun, which is pretty powerful. Wouldn't get these off, but check out what Bertha does. She don't even bat an eye, dude. She's been hitting the gym since 2000, maybe even 99. Oh my, are you serious? There's actually, hold on. There's actually grease in that linkage bearing. Are you joking? That's like finding a unicorn straight up. I'm not kidding. Oh, this build's gonna be crazy. That's a sign. That's a sign. Watch this. Okay, it is still seized, hold on. But it's seized to the actual, hold on. Oh, no, I'm just dumb. I'm just dumb. There we go. There we go. Duh, my brakes. This is like going too easy and it's concerning. I'm just waiting for the final boss, as they say, because I have a feeling it's coming. Okay. Ow! Took my glove off me. Oh, this bike's getting sketchy. Dude, I want to do that electric build so bad. It's expensive, but man. That front number plate was the first time I had to pull out a 10mm on this bike. Triple tree. Wow, even the triple tree's greased. And that is just the frame, minus some pegs and brackets. And just like that, the KX is all torn down to the frame. That went pretty well. There was nothing that was like horrible on there. Everything, even including the linkage bearings, were all greased, so everything came out. I didn't have to cut nothing, grind nothing, heat nothing. That was probably the best experience I've ever had tearing a bike completely down to the frame. That was nice. That is, that's giving me hope for this build. So before I show you guys what tools I used, quickly, I'll go over what we're gonna be doing in the next episode. So in the next episode, we're not gonna be doing anything crazy. What we're gonna be doing is tearing into that engine and just disassembling it, addressing exactly everything we need. I already know we're needing a full engine rebuild, but I just want to make sure there's nothing else going on inside, like transmission issues or anything like that, clutch baskets, stuff like that. So we're going to be tearing into the engine, and then after that episode, what we're going to be doing is probably building that engine all the way. So that includes beautifying it, making that thing look sharp. So with that being said, it's now time to show you guys what tools I used while tearing down this bike. All right, so I've got everything laid out on the bench here, and as you can see, it's not that much. What I've got here is a Phillips and flathead screwdriver. Those are pretty long. A lot of those, make sure, a lot of the Phillips on the Japanese bikes is not actually a Phillips. It's what they call a JIS screw. So if you have a Phillips on a Japanese dirt bike, most likely it's a JIS, which is Japanese Industrial Standard. So a normal Phillips does fit, but it doesn't quite fit as good. We've got a little punch here that I use for knocking out bolts and stuff like that. A long handle 3/8 ratchet, a 1/2 inch ratchet for getting some of those axle nuts and stuff off, an assortment of Allen keys. I've used about 3 or 4 of those out of there, an assortment of wrenches as well. Everything from 17, 14, 12, and 10. Your most common sizes on bikes are going to be 8, 10, 12, and 14. That's most likely what you're going to be seeing. I used a pair of vice grips, which you don't need every time, but for that carb bolt that was stripped, diagonal cutters, rubber mallet, and a ball peen hammer. I've also used 2 sockets. The long one there I just used as basically a punch, and the short one there I used as extension for the actual ratchet or impact. Got a couple of 1/2 inch sockets here. This 14 here I used for the linkage bolts. You could do that with a 3/8 ratchet. I used an 1.25 inch, which is not metric. That should be metric, but it was the one that fit my axle nut. And then I think I've got a 1-inch drive here. Once again, I need better assortment of metric tools in the 1/2 inch. And then of course, the good old 22 millimeter, 1 Torx socket, which was a T40. And then once again, a 14 shallow, 8, 10, 12, and 14 3/8 drive sockets. Mostly, like I said, guys, everything you're gonna be needing is 8, 10, 12, and 14. That's the most common sizes you'll find. We've got a 3/8 impact, which is not required, but very, very handy and speeds the job up quite a bit. And then Bertha. Bertha is useful. Not required, once again, you could just use a 1/2 inch ratchet, but I do this stuff quite often. And not only do I do my own bikes, I do other people's bikes as well. So for me, a lot of times speed is key. That's why I have the impacts. But that's every tool I use on tearing this bike completely down to the frame. As you guys can see, it's not that much. And if you're curious, what you can do is just buy an assortment set. That will pretty much have everything in here. I once again recommend that Harbor Freight set. So I want to thank each and every one of you for sticking around and watching this KX250 teardown. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to leave a like. And if you want to see more content like this, please don't forget to subscribe, because once again, we are doing a full frame up build on this bike that you guys are building. So guys, stay tuned for the next episode, which once again is going to be tearing down that locked up KX250 engine. Thank you.